Welcome back to Restauranttopia. Dave Ross has another hard-hitting topic, being a student of the game. Stop being a casual observer to your restaurant and your business. Actually be in it, working it, every aspect, and constantly gaining more knowledge.
Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restauranttopia.
Yeah, and I think this goes back, Brian, to the term of like, are you working on the business or in the business?
I saw a great post this week that you forwarded to me on that.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
If you want to be in business for 5 years and then ultimately go out of business, but just work in it, just grind away, and miss all the great opportunities to be successful.
Yeah. So what does it mean to work on the business? So there's a lot of things, but I think, if you're going to be in this business and this is your livelihood, you should be a student of that industry and of that process. So we're going to go down through some quick things that we feel you can do to go to another level. And just the fact that you're listening to Restauranttopia, you're probably already in that mindset.
Yeah, it's self-selecting.
Exactly. So, but we're going to go through it anyhow. Hopefully we'll give you some good tips, share with other restaurant operators, and listen, share the podcast. Because what's the first thing about becoming a student of the game? Yeah. Listen to podcasts. And share great content. Other operators. So if there's, some of my favorite podcasts, Josh Copel, Sean at Cali Barbecue Media, Roger at Restaurant Rockstars, Chip Close.
Chip's good.
Restaurant Strategy.
Matt Plapp.
Matt Plapp's amazing.
Oh, no. All great podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and have all their feeds. So it's like, all right, this one's relevant to me.
Yeah, no, because listen, every episode of Restauranttopia probably doesn't hit everyone the same way, but there's going to be certain things hopefully you pick up, but these guys are game changers, and they're doing the right thing, and they got great content.
But they're on the front end of the industry too.
Right.
They're seeing things with technology and different marketing strategies that no one else is doing. So this is a way to really gain a ton of knowledge in a very short period of time. But if you have a question and you see it's like no one's talking about this issue I'm having, email us or go onto our website on restauranttopia.com and shoot us a line and say, hey, can you cover this topic?
And the other thing is that the world is getting smaller in the sense of, because if you look at all these people, I just thought about this, but the different geographics of these people, we've got, Josh Copel's in California, Chip Close is in New York, Sean Walchef is in California, Roger's in Maine, Matt Plapp's in Ohio, so, Kentucky. So, Rev, who we'll talk about, is in Chicago. Yeah. So these guys are all over the country experiencing different environments and experiencing different things and concepts. And so all their stuff, if you're taking it in, you're going to get something out of it.
Dave, Anthony, and Brian, Cleveland, Ohio.
Absolutely.
Like the heartland. People call it flyover country. Oh, no. You got to stop that. It's amazing.
No question. So also, industry thought leaders. So we already talked about Matt Plapp. We talked about Rev CNCO. Mm-hmm. David Jones is another great one. The Excellence Advisory used to be used to run the Pals of Business Excellence Institute and talk about mindset. He's doing some unbelievable things.
And these guys are seeing operations and have put together systems that are next level. Dave Jones got his training at the Pals Excellence Institute. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Like, talk about an operation that is second to none.
Absolutely.
The dollar per square foot that they're generating, the metrics that they're looking at, the speed of the operation. This is a fast casual it's fast food, actually.
It's fast food, yeah.
This is a fast food concept that will rival any of the big boys and makes more money. So
and make them look like a joke.
Oh,
it's not even close.
No.
It's not even close.
No, as far as so many great things that we talk about, we picked up, are you setting up your employees for success 100% of the time? That's amazing. Like,
doing the basics extraordinary.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example of this organization, we went there, and I don't drink soda, but I had some people that are big Diet Coke fans that were with us, and they were there, and they're like, this Diet Coke, it's out of this world. It tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so they showed us the ice. Okay. And the ice is a certain shape and a certain temperature. So it's like not melting, but it's like wet. It's like wet. Mm-hmm. And then the way they pour it and stuff. And so they went through the whole thing of like, what they do is they pour the soda first, and then they slide the ice into it. So it doesn't fizz as much, leaving more flavor and more carbonation and the whole experience of the drink. So they're going through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And we asked them, like, well, well, how did you even come up with this? You tested this? Or they said, no, we called Coke and asked them the best way to serve their product. And this is what they told us. And
Wow.
you're just like, my brain exploding.
One,
the simplest thing ever. Like we called them and asked them, well, how's the best way to serve your product?
number one, they were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Number two, they did the homework.
Yeah.
They were students of the game. Like so.
But they didn't come up with something, and that's what you'll experience in a lot of these operators that are amazing. These aren't earth-shattering things that you could never come up with, that there's some like secret locked box that you need a golden key to get into. This is basic stuff that you just have to ask the right questions, be curious, and do those things. And that's a lot about what we're talking about, being a student of the game, curiosity. Next point here is conferences. There's a ton of restaurant conferences, whether it be the National Restaurant Association, the Bar Show, the Mid-American Restaurant Show. There's the restaurant finance stuff. There's all kinds of your distributors' food shows. Like there's all kinds of conferences across the country that if you just get on a simple Google search, you'll be able to see. And
pick a time to go out with your a couple of your good managers or a couple of the top players on your team. Go to a conference, and I'm not talking about like, oh hey guys, let's go to Vegas and make a bunch of poor decisions. Like, let's go to Vegas. This is the conference schedule. This is the shows that we want to. Like, let's split up, divide and conquer, and then we can then workshop what it looks like as far as what you learned, what best practices you found that we can then implement in our restaurant. And that's how you really get the value out of one of these conferences. Now, if you go out there and you hit it big on a slot machine, more power to you. But at the end of the day, don't just use it as a fun-filled drinking fest. I mean, go out there and try to learn.
No, these things are chock full of new technology, new information. They got speakers, and again, I think you brought up something important that a lot of people, they just go and attend.
Yeah,
have a plan. Go through. They have the attendees. They have the agendas, who's doing what. They have the speakers. Make sure you have a plan and get your team excited. Go out there, have a good time. Listen, it's great team building too, which we'll talk about in an episode. But the team building is amazing. But yeah, there's a ton of great information you can get out of these shows.
And I would go one step further. If you're in a new town with your team, I would go on a tasting tour. We do this with our customers all the time. We go wheels up. All right, we're going to go to Tampa. We're going to go to Chicago. We're going to go to Charlotte or Charleston, wherever it is, and we just go from restaurant to restaurant tasting 5 or 6 items. And now it's going to cost you some money, but it is so well worth it. What are they doing different? What are the things that you can say, all right, man, if we brought that to our city, it would do huge.
Yeah.
And that's being a student of the game.
No, absolutely. And again, to go back to like the world is a small place.
Yeah.
So like you can go on Instagram or go on TikTok, reach out to an influencer in that city. And I went on a trip to Chicago with some neighbors and my wife, and we went and I reached out to like 2 or 3 Chicago foodies, influencers on Instagram, just DM'd them. Hey, from Cleveland, Ohio, going on a personal trip to Chicago, what places would you recommend? And they're happy to just give you, here's what I'm looking for. Like, there's dietary restrictions, and give them a little bit of information. They're happy to share like, hey, here's the places, and it's great because they live in those cities, and and typically those foodies, like they're not going to Panera, they're not going to McDonald's or Applebee's. Like they're telling you about the stuff that makes Chicago, Chicago, the stuff that makes Nashville, Nashville, the stuff that makes Vegas, Vegas, and so use those resources as well and have a strategy and plan around that when you go.
I love that. This one I love because I think it's kind of overlooked. Newsletters. Now, there's a lot of spam out there, but if you find 5 or 6 good newsletters, I mean, some of the ones that I'm on are obviously the Hillcrest one, which is awesome. Check it out.
Sign up for Restauranttopia Hillcrest newsletter.
Restauranttopia.com. Joe Polizzi's.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the forefront of marketing and some other things.
Content creation,
Josh's newsletter is great.
Pineapple Post.
Oh, so good. But there's a lot of great newsletters, and I'm going to put some links to some great newsletters that you can sign up for. Now, again, you don't have to, have 50,000 newsletters coming into your inbox. But if you peruse, 5 newsletters on a Monday, I'll tell you what, your game's going to get better.
And they're going into your email. So if you set aside time, like you said, if that's, your day off or whatever, and you're going to spend an hour and just go through some of these newsletters, you're going to pick up nuggets. You're going to pick up, and that's the whole point of this episode is being a student of the game. If you don't set aside that time to do it, don't sign up. Just do your thing, know everything, No. And everything will work out fine, I'm sure. But go off of newsletters, books. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like reading a physical book. I know you do a lot of audio.
Yeah, I don't. I love the audiobooks.
Yeah, no, I know you do the audio. There's another great app that is, been around for actually a long time. It's called Blinkist. So I think if we put this in there, I think this will resonate with a lot of people. They literally break down a full book into like a 15-minute, almost Cliff Notes, of it.
Yeah.
And it'll also read it to you. So you can read it, or you can actually listen to it. It's called Blinkist. It's a great app. I think it's just under $100 for a year to sign up. But when you think about like how much money you spend on physical books, or even Audible is what, $14-15 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a great app.
It comes free with my credit card, but I will tell you Blinkist. So if you're just getting into this and you're like, all right, I'm making a New Year's resolution, a total mindset shift into consuming data, and you're like, oh man, I need to read Good to Great. I need to read like these 10 like foundational books. Blinkist is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to get up to speed, that is absolutely the way to go.
Yeah, no question. And the greatest part is if you find one that really resonates with you, you can actually pick up the book or pick up the audio and do the full version.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
But then at least this gives you the bullet points.
Mm-hmm. And if you're, ADD like me, like sometimes you just want to consume 8 books.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Like, that's what, Tuesday night's for. Stop watching TV too, people. I'll give you a little hint. We don't get paid to do the podcast. We don't outsource the production. I do it at night instead of watching TV. I have not missed anything in my life because I stopped watching a ton of TV.
Except for, getting poked at when people are talking about the latest Netflix series that you haven't watched.
But I will let everyone else do the research.
Right.
And then, I don't have to watch The Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, if there's something good out there, I'm happy to see it. But, there's a lot of crap content.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one, which is maybe most important, is just networking. You know what I mean? So when you go to these conferences, you go to these places, you're networking. Again, the world's small. You can reach out online to these people. They're happy to help. All these people that we mentioned in this episode, very approachable, very real people, very genuine. They're not above anything. If you reached out and wanted to ask them questions or pick their brain, including us, we'd be here for you. I mean, we've talked to people, in Nova Scotia, Canada, and spent an hour on the phone with listeners talking about their restaurant. And it doesn't even affect our lives, really, other than just wanting to help and wanting to be there for local restaurant operators.
And network is net worth.
Say that one again.
Network is net worth.
I love it.
The more people you have in your life that you can reach out to is amazing. I consider myself to have a pretty good network. Mm-hmm. I can connect with anyone in Cleveland within 1 or 2 connections. Yeah. And that's really a game changer when we need someone, that does this in this area of the law, or we need this type of accountant, or we need, this type of HVAC person. My network comes through for me every single time, and we're able to find someone that's top notch, reasonably priced, and able to execute at the highest level.
Yeah, and I think in restaurants sometimes we get in competitive situations, even with other restaurateurs in our cities. Know these people, go to the events, go to the different things. Like reach out, because we're all like a rising tide raises all ships. You know what I mean? And so we're all in this together, and this industry potentially is going to get worse before it gets better with the economy and things that are happening, and you got to be on top of your game.
I just heard of a chicken place that got VC funding, went out of business in Strongsville.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Wow. And then the last point, I don't know if I said networking is the last point, but I lied if I did. This is the last point. Start producing your own content. Okay? Go back.
Document your journey.
Yeah, go back to the Sean Walchef episodes.
Yeah.
He had 2 episodes with us, but the first one talking about the courage to pick up the camera, open up in selfie mode, and talk about your story. Nobody's coming to tell your story. Okay? You got to do this, and as you start producing your own content and start doing these things, that challenge will make you great. It'll make you a student. It'll make you research more. It'll make you prepare. It'll make you have a strategy. Do those things. Produce your own content. And don't be afraid to go out there and look a little silly, because it potentially could happen, but it's gonna reward you in the long run.
And you don't look silly. I mean, you look brave, and you look like you're doing something that no one else is doing. Get out there, make your own content, be a student of the game, have fun doing it. This is not just a hobby. This is your livelihood. Yeah. You need to get after this.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's what we got, guys. So make sure that you're subscribing to those podcasts. You're reaching out to those thought leaders, going to conferences, newsletters, books, networking, producing your own content, do all those things, make it happen, and we'll see you at the top.
Reach out to us on restauranttopia.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is a high quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restaurantopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restauranttopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you and have a great day.
We are excited to announce the Restauranttopia VIP Text Club. Join by texting the word podcast to 844-928-4257. You will get access to exclusive content, industry news, deals, announcements, pro tips, and more. The VIP Text Club is an exclusive community of independent restaurant owners and professionals. Join today. Message and data rates may apply. Please check our website for our terms of service and privacy policy.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Hillcrest Food Service. If you are a local independent restaurant and are looking for a distributor who has chef and operational consulting, provides marketing support, does menu reviews, and most importantly, wants you to be successful, reach out to Hillcrest Food Service at hillcrestfoods.com.